Alright, I'm going to quickly go over my build because people are asking, and I figured it's just easier to make a video again because I don't want to keep answering questions. So, mod 22 build, not too much has changed. Obviously the gear changes, it changes every mod every time there's new content drop, but the essence of a wizard is more or less the same. I guess stats really quick. Obviously these look atrocious, but these are completely unbuffed out of combat stats. With the exception of I currently have Devil's Precision overloaded in, so take that into account if you want. But just some quick math, just because I know everyone loves math, so I'll just do it for you. Power, I get 5% from my arms, right? I get 5% from Watcher, 10% from Sorbet, 2% from Runic Aura, etc., etc. Believe me, it goes up to 90%. We're all with each other. Happy. Awesome. Accuracy, I get 10% from Sorbet, 2% from Sunlords, and 0.55% from another potion. It hits 73%. We're all happy. Combat advantage, 3.75% from Combatant's Maneuver, because I have 2. 5% from Sunlords, 5% from Tutor, because we run with a Tutor. If you guys don't run with a Tutor, easy switch. Just use the CA boots, but because Big Buddy is an excellent human being, Tutor gives everyone 5% CA, so I don't need these boots. I just use Rusted because I'm a DPS whore, what can I say? But yeah, all of that's to say, combat advantage, it's a very nice 88.7%. If you're running with an HR like we are, who's using Aspect of the Pack, you get yet another 5%. So quick maths, I'll actually hit 93%, so I'm actually overcapped on CA, and that's without CA boots. But again, everything is dependent on your group. Always build around your group. Like for power, I'm building around Runic Aura because we're getting 2000 stat, right? And combat advantage, obviously building around the HR and the Tutor. Crit strike, 12.5% from Ribcage, 5% from Watcher, and 0.55% from the potion. It hits 89.7%, I think. And then crit sev, 12.5% from Ribcage, 5% from potion, 5% from Watcher, and then another 1% from Invocation Blessing. Hits a very nice 89%. So in case you just zoned out during all that math, I don't blame you, but basically TLDR 90, 73, 93, 89, 89. So quick gear overview. Tooltip is bugged, don't get overexcited. It's not 750% accuracy, it's 7.5%. This is a very user-friendly helmet. You can literally just go to the seal vendor, go to the wild, and you can just buy it for seals. But basically your stamina is full, you get 7.5% accuracy. Another one you can use, which we were using before we even knew about the fucking seal one, was Whisper Hood. I guess this one has the added benefit of it also gives you movement speed, so we actually use this in AoE just because zoom is fun. But I mean, in trials you don't use stamina too much, and if you do, lol, trust your healer, omega lol, keck. So yeah, that's where we're getting so much accuracy from. Ribcage, non-negotiable. I mean, it's 25% total stat. If you're not using it, I'm sorry, you're not even going to be close to top DPS. So this build ain't for you if you don't have a Ribcage. Arms, I know people don't like these because you lose movement speed, but believe me, you don't notice it. And then by the time you actually need to move in a trial to avoid mechanics, the stacks have already worn off. Like, they only last 4 seconds. So like, we were running Zerial and Tom yesterday, and I never felt slow. And the reason I'm using these instead of the Risk Guards of Precipitation, which gives 7500 stat, which most people are using, is just because uptime, like uptime on these is just damn near 100%, whereas uptime on the Risk Guards of Precipitation, which gives 7500 stat, it's just not as good. Obviously TRs can take more advantage of that because they're bleed. I think Sheila was saying one full Duelist Flurry at will gives them 16 stacks automatically. Wizards aren't that lucky, however, like obviously we can stack it nicely. It's just, I don't know. Also, this is percent power instead of stat, so you know, the choice is yours. I made the switch to Cry Scaler, both of which come from hardcore boss anyway, so you're gonna have to do some content to get them. For boots, like I said, I use Rusted for the sole reason that we have a tutor, summon companion in our group, giving everyone 5% CA. The vast majority of builds out there, you're gonna see people using these boots, which again come from hardcore boss. They give you 5% CA if you're close to the target. In a trial, you're always close to the target. Yeah, just easy stats. But again, I'm using Rested because I'm a DPS whore and I can. Weapon set, this one's controversial. I've been using the Watcher set. Shout out to Yaya. If you guys don't know, they give you an absolute metric fuck ton of stats. 5% power, 5% crit step, 5% crit strike, and even 5% defense. Believe me, the defense is appreciated on a DPS. So I don't know why everyone's shitting on these. They give you so much stat. And I guess the counter argument is they take 25 seconds to reach full stacks, and if you die, the stacks reset. So if you die a lot, these are not for you. If you never die, these are amazing and give you a shit ton of stats. However, the new trial weapons are actually really good on the C-dub. And also, if you like animation cancel any encounter power, you can actually use the bonus of the new set. By the way, if you don't know, the new set is very similar to like the Celestial set. So if you're familiar with what the Celestial set does, just very quickly, basically you reach stacks and then you get damage buff. But the addition is you also get like recharge speed and AP gain, I believe. Apparently I'm blind in case you Celestial. Oh, there it is. So yeah. So basically you just use encounters and dailies and you get stacks and then you get outgoing damage. The new set's slightly better because it also gives you, I think, recharge speed on top of that. But they also have like 1850 item level, so it's another item level boost as well. But because wizards spam encounters, we can keep the stacks up almost indefinitely, so they're really good. But for now, I'm using Watcher. Love it or hate it, I don't care, that's what I'm using. Watchers come from like those, I'm going to call them enhanced MEs, or you can just buy them from the, I think there's like a 30k Zen thingy that costs 5k Zen. I don't know, but you know, I use Watchers. Book set, for the sole reason is it can proc Band of Air, also Frozen because it gives everyone 10% damage, and the little dwarfs can proc Band of Air. The meta for DPS these days is proccing Band of Air. Whoever procs Band of Air the most is probably going to be top DPS. So whenever I say something procs Band of Air, just know that that is the key to being a DPS whore. So obviously I have Band of Air on. So this ring, very, very situational. For the new trial, everyone and their mother is going to be using Red Eye Stare because both Valintra and the dragon are undead, so it's 10% for the entire trial. But because we don't have the trial yet, I'm just using the range ring. The logic here is not because it's great, but just because it has accuracy, and Red Eye Stare also has accuracy, so it's an easy swap for me. I can do this without compromising my build at all. But if you want to build around Red Eye's Glare, which is the power ring, it gives you a tremendous amount of stats. This one, by all means, you can drop Watcher and then use Red Eye's Glare, etc., etc. Do what you want, but in the new trial, Red Eye's Stare is kind of mandatory. I made the switch to demo. I'm still a huge advocate of the music box set in speedrun environments, just because it's a separate proc that can double dip from debuffs, as I've mentioned several times in probably my Arbiter Guide video. But for now, I'm using the demo set, but at the end of the day, demo or music box, it doesn't matter. What everyone and their sister are going to be using is the new set, the Mithril set. Basically, it's just a magnitude hit whenever you're doing combat advantage damage, which is literally always in single target environment, and over the course of the new trials run, it procs like 800 times or something around that on a wizard. So I mean, oh, and I should say, this is very important, the Mithril hit from the set can also proc Band of Air, as is the theme for everything. But so can the demo, so right now it's kind of just a budget Mithril. Also has the added benefit of giving 5% damage. That's cool, but like not the primary focus, but you know. So we're using the demo set, or you can use a music box. It doesn't really matter. We're all going to be using Mithril when we unlock it. This shirt, you can farm it. It's from the new area. You can farm it just killing those mini bosses around, or you can just buy it off the auction house. But I mean, gives you recharge speed, gives you CA. No reason not to use it. Pants really don't matter as long as they have this bonus. I'm using the ones from Hardcore Boss because item level, but at the end of the day, you just want the AP bonus on the pants. And yeah, so, also I should say, I'm fortunate to, if I organize a group, the rule is if I organize the group, I could use Frozen, but if you don't have that luxury, just put on a debuff as you're active, like Blast, Lantern, Black Dragon, and, you know, Wyvern, whatever. Just make sure you're using the debuff when you're running with people. If everyone's using Frozen, yes, they stack, but like, debuffs are typically better than buffs, whereas Frozen's a 10% damage buff, whereas something like House or Black Scepter is a 5% damage debuff. So just, you know, note that. Not everyone will be able to use Frozen as much as people want to. Powers, these haven't changed too much. Ray of Frost is always going to be our main shtick. Storm Pillar to charge AP, as I've mentioned before. Powers, you're going to notice something a little different here. Oh my god, officials using Arcane Conduit. Not really. If you're a solo wizard, it's going to be the same setup, you know, Ray of Enfeeblement, Repel, Entangling Force, Disintegrate. Ray of Enfeeblement on tab, giving all magical damage or projectile damage, 10% damage buff. The only reason you saw me on Arcane Conduit is because in our group we have another wizard who's running Ray of Enfeeblement. So there's no real point to having both of us using it because it doesn't stack. The only argument you can make there is uptime, I guess, but I mean, if she's also an Arcanist spamming her daily, uptime's going to be pretty good regardless, and everyone's expecting to recharge speed these days, so whatever. I'm a DPS whore, so I'll be using Arcane Conduit just because, like I said, we have multiple wizards in our run. If you're the solo wizard, just use Ray of Enfeeblement. It buffs everyone, including like Warlocks, Arbiters, etc. But in case you don't know, this is the new power. Everyone was hyped about it, and then the hype died off because we realized it wasn't too great. It just gives all of your arcane powers 20% damage buff. But as you know, Disintegrate, Repel, Entangling Force, our main single target powers, are all arcane, so it's buffing those. Very important to note, this is a self buff, so it's giving me, and only me, 20% buff to my arcane powers. I do not buff the other wizard, whereas she is buffing me with Ray of Enfeeblement. So like I said, it's a DPS whoring thing, so use at your own discretion. If you're the only wizard and you're using this, you're selfish, and you're gonna get called. So, as for dailies, Arcane Empowerment has always just been the thing we use. This is the only reason Arcanist is good. Basically, you can spam encounters for 10 seconds straight, and it's fun. Class features. Whoa, what's this? Official drop chilling presence? No way. Okay, so Storm Spell, I mean, this has always been on since the inception of the wizard, right? I mean, it's still 6% of our damage, so always keep it on. The reason I'm using Arcane Power Field instead of Chilling Presence is the very simple reason. Arcane Power Field can proc Band of Air, which is the theme of the build, is just proccing Band of Air. If you don't know, you pop your daily, and then it's supposed to give you a damage buff. That's broken. Don't worry about that part. I know damage buff sounds cool on paper, but the math tells us it's not great, even if it did work. The main reason to use this is like those magnitude hits. It's, you know, it says 50 magnitude every 2 seconds for 8 seconds, whatever. Basically, those separate magnitude hits can proc Band of Air, so that's the only reason I'm using it. I'm not married to the idea. Basically, over the course of an entire run, it only hits for 50 times, so of those 50 times, how many are actually proccing Band of Air? Who knows? Probably not enough. You can use Chilling Presence if you want, but I mean, both are not great. The only one that matters is Storm Spell, if we're being honest with each other. Spell Twisting, AP, obviously. Snap Freeze, as with the theme of this build, Snap Freeze also procs Band of Air. Also, if you didn't know, if you're running with numerous wizards, you can constantly keep multi-procking snap freeze over and over, because I don't know if it's a bug or it's intended at this point, but basically if you're hitting a target, you can only get chilling stacks up to 6, and then it just stops. And then you can't really keep on procking snap freeze, or it's called chill in your log if you ever see the word chill. But if there's 2 wizards, you can keep on refreshing it, and it just keeps on procking. But every time these proc, it has a chance to proc Band of Air. So, yep. Chaos Magic, the only one that really matters is quick action, let's be honest, give you the AP, but I mean, Chaos Magic is a staple. Power Surge is cool, I guess. Striking Advantage, this is 6% of our damage, it's just another magnitude hit, and we're doing Combat Advantage. Counts for, yeah, like I said, it's very similar to Storm Spell. Basically, they're both roughly 6% of our damage. It's a no-brainer. And a step above Mastery just for, you know, extra damage. Why not? People got mad at me because I usually don't show boons. I don't think they're important. The only ones that are important are Bloodlust, because it's a separate proc that can proc Band of Air. Tier 5, people might be interested to know. I use the 4% AP, 4% recharge speed. I don't need Forte because, as we did the quick maths at the start, I was overcapped on power, and I'm overcapped on CA if I'm running with Tutor and HR, which we are. The rest, just use at your own discretion. I will mention that there's an Undead boon, which gives 5% damage against Undead. The new Trial's Undead. I'd invest in this if I were you. Also, I guess there's Demons in Zerial in Phase 2, so if you want to be sweaty, use it. Movement speed, obviously. Lingering Medicine, this used to be broken beyond belief. Like, the heal over time was crazy. I don't use health potions anymore. I don't even know if it still works, but I'm always back into it. The rest are just use at your own discretion. Stronghold boons, it's crit, defense. Res Sickness if you're a bitch. Movement speed if you're a baller. Make your choice. Companions, Albert Cub, augments. It just gives way too much stat, you know? Accuracy, crit sev, and combat advantage stat. So that's where I'm getting so many stats from. Comp gear, accuracy, combat advantage, combat advantage, crit sev, Q senses for CA. Oh, okay, so I guess this one's kind of important. I'm using all 3 damage comps, which is why I can take advantage of Watcher, because Watcher gives you so many stats that you can actually just use all the damage comps in the world. So Batiri for 11% against bosses, Minced 8.6% damage against bosses, and then the Knight for another 7.5%, and then the remaining 2 are just for stats. So Black Dragon for crit, Alchemist is the only useful utility slot in the game, so it's crit combat advantage. If you guys know of another utility companion, let me know, because Alchemist has literally been on since day 1 of whenever we got those changes. Mounts, Ferocity, it can proc Band of Air, that's all you need to know. Toad, there's no real animation, so it's just quicker and better to use, but I guess you could make an argument you can animation cancel Tunnel Vision with your daily, so if you want to use that, by all means. And there's also like the Golden Warhorse or whatever that you can use. Insignia bonuses, 2 Assassin's Covenant just for more stat, Gladiator's Guile for zoom zoom, and 2 combatants because if you have 2, it's 3750 common advantage rating. And the beautiful thing about this on a wizard is Ray of Frost can proc this, so you have 100% uptime on 3700 stat. That's why at the beginning of the video I was just like, oh yeah, common advantage, you add 3.7% from combatants, because I'm taking advantage of those 3700 stats. So in case you were wondering why I mathed it like that, that's where that comes from. Callers, encounter, crit sev, movement speed for zoom zoom, control bonus is, it doesn't matter, honestly. And then rough AD, again, doesn't matter. And I'm pretty sure, oh hell yeah, Nabu just changed our guild name to Warlock Meta, love to see. oh shit, yeah, I almost forgot about did shits. Okay, so I'm using all Jades for offense, which is crit strike. Utility is Forte, defense is defense. Single target, we're using Poison Thorn. AoE, we're using Curse Burn. And yeah, so the bonus, I'm using recharge speed. I know a lot of people are asking me about AP versus recharge speed. I'm spec'd into recharge, so if you actually look at my stats, I'm at like 9% AP gain, 17% recharge speed. I'm sure a better player than I can, you know, switch the crit save collar for the recharge speed collar. Actually, funny enough, if you're playing Thom, which is actually somewhat viable, don't meme on me, you don't need the crit save because we have a class feature that just gives us 10%, so you can just drop this collar and use the recharge speed. And you could also use the Black Dragon set, which gives you another 10% recharge speed if we look at the set together. So if you use the collar, which is another 4%, or I guess 5% if you have mythics, I'm not that ballin', but so you could have 5% from the collar, 10% from this, add that to the 17% we already have is 32% recharge speed. So if you want to like go full recharge speed, that's the only way to build Thom as far as I'm concerned, is just to like fully invest and lean into the recharge speed. And yeah, I think I covered everything for this build. I briefly mentioned the new weapons are very similar to Celestial weapons. So, Yaya convinced me to make a build with Celestial weapons. I'm not going to go over too much. The only differences in this build, obviously I'm using these boots, but again, the entire tutor discussion it carries over. But basically I switched my helmet to Grease Rose. I switched my arms to Wrist Guards. Precipitation, and I switched Black Dragon to Cambion, which is actually crit save, and then I'll bore you the math because you can just like believe me on it. But the stats turn out to be 88%, 69, nice, 88, 87, 89, and of course that's with all three damage comps. I guess it's slightly different because I'm using 2 accuracy combat advantage, and then the other one's crit save. Everything else is the same, I promise you. The only difference is I switched the helmet, I switched the arms, and I switched one companion out. Obviously, we have less stats. Like you notice, I didn't say a single 90. It was 88, 69, 88, 87, 89. Watcher gave a lot of stats. Not using Watcher, you lose stats, but I mean the bonus is cool. So if you don't have Watcher, Celestial's definitely your guy. And then when we unlock the new trial weapons, everyone's going to be using those anyway. So that's the whole point of using this build. And I'm not going to cover AoE because I don't want to. I will in a different video, I'm sure. But yeah, that's it.